Okay, welcome to those who are also online through the medium of technology and telecommunications. So today, what I'm going to talk to you about primarily is image recognition and our vertical AI. I'm not going to show you a demo. I'm just going to choose one vertical, one way of using the platform, and it's going to be all around imagery. As many of you know, there's many bits, there's many areas to Pulsar and social listening tools. And the reason why I'm showing you image today is because we've got some exciting new developments around it. So what I'll do is I'll show you two examples of clever ways that people are using virtual AI already to inform campaign and content. And then the second part, I'll show you how to set that up, which will introduce the new functionality into the platform. So I'll start with the case studies. I'm going to show you one which some of you may have seen before, which is for a cosmetics brand called NYX Cosmetics. And then I'm going to show you a second example which none of you would have seen, which is around interior design. So we were helping an interior design company to understand how people are interacting around interior design across imagery on social, and then how can we categorize that to help with content. So is it more about the kitchen or the bedroom? And then also categorizing it by colors and also form. So is it that people love really minimal kitchens, or is it that people love flowery bedrooms? What is it? How are people interacting on social to help inform content? Always comes back to that. So to start with, I'll show you the L'Oreal NYX Cosmetics case study, which you may have seen, and then I'll move on to the second one, and then the third bit, I'll show you how to set it up and introduce our new functionality. So I'll use this bit. Okay, so we're in the NYX Cosmetics search. So as you all are aware, at Pulsar, what we do is we're a social listening and audience intelligence platform, and we're obsessed with human behavior. So uncovering insights within human behavior to help with campaign and for content. So we were helping this cosmetics brand to launch a campaign. So NYX Cosmetics, for those of you that aren't aware, a young cosmetics brand. They see themselves as being a very young brand. They see themselves as resonating quite highly with students, young people. As this search shows, it's dominated on Instagram, which you might expect. When we finally plug in Snapchat, you'll probably see that being pretty high for this brand as well. Nice, welcome. Do find a seat. If you can't find one, use this chair. Oh, it's on there, great. We're getting very visual content. So you can see that this is the L'Oreal search. I'm just going to get rid of this bit on the side here. We can see that pretty much all the content coming through is visual. This is by engagement currently, the top by engagements. We can also look at it by the top by likes, which we're going to get loads of Instagram content. And we can see that it looks like we've got loads of influencers or makeup artists using Instagram as a platform to show off. So gone are the days when you can just understand a brand perception by text, by language. People are interacting very highly with this brand when it comes to imagery. So how can we get past that challenge? How can we solve that problem with content? So to do so, we've integrated visual AI. So previously, 2 months ago, we were able to categorize images on the platform in only 2 ways. So by object and by text or logo. So what this area of the platform does is when an image enters the platform on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, or Tumblr, it will look at the categories within that image. It actually breaks down each image into 3,600 pixels and identifies themes within those pixels. And what we're looking at here is the most prevalent, so we're the highest volume. And we're looking at object trends. So what we're saying here is that the larger the tile, the higher the repetitions of that object image. We've got loads of selfies here. And we saw that in the content before. Loads of people want to interact with this cosmetics brand and share images of them using that makeup. Okay, that's cool. but it's not necessarily useful. I mean, cool, loads of selfies, great. What was more interesting for L'Oreal NYX Cosmetics was having a look further down. We've got things like products, so cosmetic and toiletry, and then eyeshadow. Now, NYX Cosmetics produced quite a few different products. Foundation, lipstick, eyeliner, eyeshadow, just a few. But it seems that people care more about the eyeshadow when it comes to image than their eyeliner, for example. So that's interesting to start with. So NYX decided, okay, cool, well, we're going to use that. We're going to run a series of pieces of content on social, which is going to showcase our eyeshadow. We'll use that, but how can we understand that in more detail, and how can we gather higher engagements, higher clickbacks, higher searches on Instagram as well? So by clicking on that, it actually shows us all of our eyeshadow content. So what's happening here at the back end is we are assigning this eyeshadow tag to these images, and we're then pulling them out for you. So you get a sense of what these users are sharing across all those image sources when it comes to eyeshadow. It's pretty neat and cool. It's also AI, so it's getting better and better. The more it sees, the better it gets. We train it every month. If I click through, we can look at all of them if you want to. I think we've got, 14,000 results in the past month for L'Oreal NYX. It's a worldwide search, by the way, so we're likely to get high levels of content. Loads on Instagram, as we can see here. In fact, if we open up all these posts and see all the actual imagery, some pretty inspired images coming through. Okay, that's interesting again. We've found our trends. We've kind of focused in on the trend using the results tag. But then how can we now immerse ourselves in that trend and categorize it? To do so, we've actually added a new button on Pulsar. And I don't know if many of you current users know about this button, but I use this dashboard button all the time to take my trend and push it back into my research funnel, because we can then deep dive into that trend. So by clicking on that dashboard button, we're forcing it back into this research funnel. So now I'm looking at the whole conversation in NYX Cosmetics, but only when people share images of eyeshadow. And we can cycle through all the tabs that we can in a usual way on Pulsar Track. We can look at when they're usually likely to be online. We can look at the channel breakdown, the emotion breakdown, everything. But for this campaign, what they did, NYX Cosmetics, they came into content, and they then visualized visual AI. So within eyeshadow, what are the objects people are sharing? By colors. So if we get rid of these and just look at colors, we can see that when people share an image of eyeshadow and mention NYX Cosmetics, they're more likely to use light brown eyeshadow and then purple. So what we're saying here is, and their volumes are quite high, that it's likely that NYX Cosmetics will get higher engagements if they use these colors, because it's going to resonate more with their audience. Nice. So that's the first case study I want to share with you. There is more to that case study, so if you want to know more about, we were helping with language behind the campaign as well, so what hashtags to use, also time of day when they should launch those posts, influencers to work with. I can more than happy to share more information around it, but for the nature of time, go for it.
How did the AI realise that they were talking about eyeshadow there, not, for example, sky or eyeliner? So I imagine they're using those products as well. So how did it know? Unless it's using the text as well, or is it purely image?
Purely image. So if I go to that results tab again, I'll show you what I mean. Let's click on eyeshadow. Right. I'm already in the filter. So I go to results. Let's look at one of these that doesn't have eyeshadow in it. Okay, great, yeah. No mention of eyeshadow on this post. But then if we scroll down, it's picked it out as an image tag eyeshadow. So there's no text. What the system is doing is it's an AI piece of tech that knows that that object is eyeshadow and will pick it out for you without there needing to be text or a hashtag. And we've got loads of use cases and case studies for you around this. We were talking about alcohol earlier. We've got a really interesting case study within gin on the Berry platform where we're using the gin category and categorizing it by cocktails. So the system can actually understand and pick out different cocktails, from gin and tonic to gin martini. It can actually understand the shape of the glass and pick it out for you, which is pretty cool for content. Again, if our gin brand that we're doing it for, so the gin tastings, which cocktail should they use for gin tasting by image? The next case, sorry, any more questions as well? No worries. The next case study I wanted to show you was within interior design, to give you another flavor of using image recognition. So we've actually archived the search. So I'm just going to come across onto this and zoom in so I can show you what I did here. This was a project that I worked on. So this was a topic of conversation, just looking at very simply interior design as a category. So what are people saying about interior design, also what images are they sharing? We got a sense of the conversation being very, the language was very about a minimalist conversation. So we've got colors like, but this is what people were talking about, not images. So black was a topic, minimalist was a topic. It's quite interesting. But then we applied image recognition, which was quite interesting. So the AI tool was picking out rooms in the house. So usually indoors, interior design. Kitchen was number one. Living room was quite a bit further down. It's got some furniture. And actually bedroom, study that wasn't featuring at all in this at all. So, okay, so if we're going to push out content for an interior design company, image content, we probably want it to be living room or kitchen related. And what we could do is deep dive into those image trends. So let's have a look at some of our kitchens, for example. So yeah, we were looking at focusing on that trend to understand it. And it does, on first look from these posts, look like it is quite a minimal visual look. And then again, I used that dashboard button to push it back into the platform, which brought out our colors. And it was definitely supported by it being more of a minimalist color when it comes to kitchen. Gray, then green was the most used color when it came to kitchens within interior design. So yeah, here I was helping this agency here, Brown, looking to create interior design content, more likely to gather our engagement, so they choose minimalist, grey, silver kitchen content. I also looked at the influencers who were sharing those images to help with that too. So yeah, that's my second case study I wanted to show you. Any questions on that one? All good if not.
The platform's not genius. We can't know everything about everything. Do you have to train it specially for certain clients, like L'Oreal, for example, eyeliners or whatever? Do you have to then train it to know because?
Yes. So what I'll show you in a second is how to build or create one of these searches. And when you do build that search, you have different options of categories within images. You can't choose all of them. So for example, I've chosen color for both of these. If you choose color, you can't do facial recognition, for example, which we're working with at the moment for some of our more facial brands, like actually for L'Oreal search, it's really interesting to do facial recognition. Because build with people taking selfies, you can understand the age ranges, ethnicity, and gender. So yeah, I'll show you the setup. When you choose that vertical, so be it color or location, the location we pick out like landmarks, useful for travel, things like that, we will then train that on that search. So we will process AI through the search every month so that it gets better at that search. Cool. So yeah, so let me show you how to build a search to get to these guys. I think maybe Amir had already loaded them, although I can't find them, unfortunately. Let's build a search and I'll show you what I mean. So the challenge with social data still is that we still need to lead the research by a topic or an audience. You can't lead yet the conversation or the search by an image. That's something that we're looking into at the moment. Let's say when it's just search for all images of Nike shoes, for example. That's something you can't do yet, but you still at the moment need to lead it by a topic or an audience. So some of you will recognize the screen, building a search. So yeah, it's actually by three ways: topic, audience, or content. So you can track URLs, pieces of content as well. Through the topic search, I'll show you what I mean by understanding image setup. So let's say we wanted to track myths and legends. We were talking about that earlier. So yeah, let's call this our myths and legends search. So we probably want things like just dragon would be probably quite a good term. St. George's Day. Hercules. I mean, the list is probably endless. Start building a search for you down here, Martin. But when we're happy with our keywords, what we can then do and our Instagram tags is start to build our search. We choose our exclusion words, and we can exclude things like Trump and Brexit, which we always have to put in there, or a stock list. And we start to target our search. And you'll notice here that I'm moving across this timeline to build my search. I can choose which sources I want, which countries, which regions, which languages, and with media types, you might want to just choose images if you're just choosing an image and willing to search. Save and continue. Now, this is what's different on the platform. So those of you who have built a search before will now know that, well, when you've seen the fact that you can now build out the search based on these modules. So this is our vertical AI improvement. So what you can do now is you can choose these specific image traits. So these ones, the ones that say visual are the image ones. So general will give you the general objects ones, which I've been showing before. So looking at things like eyeshadow or kitchen. Travel will pick up surroundings, environments, and also seasons, which is quite useful for travel. If you work with any retail or fashion clients, we can now pick out an actual apparel. So we work with quite a few clients within fashion who want to know about if people are engaging my brand, which items of clothing are they more likely to share. For that, colors as well. Logo recognition, we've had that for a while. Color, celebrity, demographics, which I mentioned, and also video recognition. So video recognition is really useful, and I think that this is an area that is only on the verge of being used in the best way. What it does, it takes stills and then identifies objects within those stills. So for the first time ever, you can actually gather insights from videos, which could be useful for understanding brand shares in a video or understanding specific insights around objects. So yeah, when you build your search, set up your search, you choose. So if I chose video, you'll notice that quite a few of these go dark. So straight away, I can't choose any text. When I choose color, I can't choose any of the others. Then when you launch that search, what we'll do is we'll apply the AI, which will retrain every month within those two different verticals.
With any demographic, I mean, as you said, you got A, I mean, that's a very good guess because you can't really tell.
It's not an expert yet.
Yeah.
It's still in its infancy. What I like about it in our platform is that it actually gives you an age range, and then it tells you the percentage it believes to be within that age category. We've run it on quite a few people at Pulsar, and there's been some hilarious outcomes for some people, maybe not for the people it was done on. Yeah, which is quite good. So you do within a kind of 70% accuracy. It says this person is between 21 to 30, for example. This is actually really key, actually, demographics. For those of you who know about the limitations to Instagram, this is going to be a way for people to understand demographics on Instagram. So do you guys know about limitations around Instagram currently in the market? So what's great with Twitter, it being a public domain, is that you can understand things like demographics, age, gender, and you can filter down by that on the platform. So you can go, okay, within my data set, let's filter down by people who say they're students or age 16 to 19 or interested in music. With Instagram, it's not possible. They don't allow it as part of their API. So they don't give you access to profile information. So that's a challenge. So how can you understand this audience is like on Instagram because they're not allowing us to do that? This is a way around that. If people are taking selfies, you can gather information around their demographic using image recognition demographics. And that is it. I'm finishing on time, which never happens usually. Yeah, thanks to the people who are joining us today. Is there any questions from anybody in the room or anybody on the webinar? You guys.
I just don't understand. You can actually click on each of those ones and go deeper down into it. Is that how it works?
This is the beginning of the search. This is where we build our search before we launch it.
Yeah.
When we launch the search, it'll apply the ones we've selected to that search. And then we can go into what I was showing earlier and deep dive in the visual AI. So so we deep dive in here and go, this will visualize based on the ones you've chosen.
So we got the logo when you said that you couldn't do Nike, for example, but you could go into those brands
Yeah, so you can't delete the search by an image. So you can't go, I only want to search for Nike images as a starting point. But you can search for the word Nike. And then within that search, how many people are sharing Nike logos. Logo recognition is interesting. We've done a bit of work on it with some clients. One was Standard Life, who sponsored the British Lions tour. So they just wanted a return on investment on how many times people are sharing images of the shirt. So we used logo recognition for that. Every time somebody takes a photo of their shirt. Cool. Nice. Well, I think that's it. I don't know how I access questions on here. That's why I need Amir to come and save me. I don't know how I access questions on the webinar.
Was it Zoom?
Here he is.
You're professional right now.
I don't know. I might need some more training.
I think that's where it has the managers. Q&A, no one likes it.
So the investors stay silent.
I think so, yeah. So I think this is it for our online audience. Thanks for joining us. Goodbye.
And now I can I'm sorry.
Anyone have any further questions online before we can log off? No. That's it. Thank you very much. I can't picture us. I think one's from there. Oh no, yeah, we did have some. Whoops.
I'll have to follow up.
We'll follow up with them.
So again, thank you so much to all of you who attended the webinar. I hope you enjoyed it. Some great questions there coming in towards the end. Stay tuned for more webinars from Pulsar. And if those of you who aren't already clients, who'd like to see more of the platform, I do recommend clicking request a demo on the website, which will then proceed for you to be able to check out Pulsar from one of our business development team. Thanks so much for joining. Thanks, guys.